Hey guys, happy Monday. So I just wanted to pop in and share what I bought this week for my groceries. I know it's getting kind of late, but better late than never. I wanted to share what I got because, well, number one, I get a lot of questions on recipes. I get a lot of questions on what I eat during the week for my breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, all the things. So I wanted to share for that aspect, but I also wanted to share to hold myself accountable to exactly what I bought. And I'm going to tell you right now, this actually really was helpful to me because when I was at the grocery store, being that this is like my first week post-show, and knowing that I have more carbs available, more fats available, like I have more freedom in my diet, it was very hard to adhere to that at the grocery store. I found myself going down aisles and stopping very frequently and just like really contemplating hard on whether I was going to buy a certain item or not, and looking at all of these foods that I haven't eaten in so long and wanting them. A lot of foods that I don't even typically consume. So this is really common, I feel like, among competitors and anybody that goes a really long span of time dieting. And then when you're, I guess, done dieting, or when you're moving forward into the phase of maintenance or whatever it might be, you find yourself plummeting into all the things that you couldn't have, right? So anyways, the reason why I wanted to share this was to give you guys an idea of maybe some healthy foods that you can pick up for yourself, but also to hold myself accountable. And it was super helpful in doing that because as I found myself stopping at the grocery store, looking at those foods that I maybe wanted for seemingly no reason, knowing that I was going to share what I bought publicly stopped me. So this is something that I'm doing today, and I plan on actually doing this every week moving forward, to, like I said, hold myself accountable and share with you guys what's going on here. So just starting off with the basics, I got chicken breast, 96% lean beef, and eggs, egg whites. These are some of my basic sources of protein. As I got deeper into prep, I was also buying 99% lean turkey burger, but being that I'm not necessarily deep into prep anymore, this is not making the cut on my grocery list because it's expensive. And at the time, it was worth it, but currently, it's not. I can meet my requirements for my proteins, and being that I have more fats available in my nutritional, I guess I call it my nutrition prescription that I get from my coach. But being that I have more fats available, I don't need the 99% lean turkey burger at this point. So it's expensive. I don't need it. So it's not making the cut, if that makes sense. Instead, when I was having the turkey burger for my lunches, now I'm going to be having chicken breast. Because, I mean, like I said, it's a really high source of protein, and it's cheaper than the 99% turkey burger. So that's kind of my thought process on that. Along with all of these groceries that I bought this week, you're going to notice that I bought a lot of food. But the reason being is because as I got deeper into prep, my fridge and my pantry was pretty much bare. I got the bare minimum of food that I needed for the week to prevent myself from eating anything extra. I would know in my head that if I took little nibbles of things, I wouldn't be able to make it through the week with enough food. So I kept literally like minimal food in my apartment. So the amount of food that I bought this week was expensive. But from this point forward, now that I've restocked, I'll be able to spend less money each week on my groceries, and make sure that I have food available that is healthy, and anything that I eat, anything that I'm putting into my body, pretty much I know I'm going to be able to feel good about. So we got the proteins squared away. We got that chicken breast, the 96% lean beef. That's the beef that I choose. And I got eggs, egg whites. And then for my vegetables, I really kind of thought about what I wanted to eat this week. That was my main thing, is asking myself, what are the healthy foods that I enjoy that make me feel good? And how can I incorporate those into my day? And this is often where I start with my clients and with anybody that is looking to start eating healthier. Don't go for the celery and the kale if you don't like celery and kale, because you're gonna waste your money. It's gonna rot in your fridge. You're gonna feel super frustrated or super fucking annoyed when you're sitting there snacking on celery and you don't like celery. So number one, I just ask myself, what healthy foods do I like? What healthy foods make me feel good that I want to eat this week? So I wrote those out. And that's pretty much how I determined my grocery list for this week. So I got lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions, some things that I can make a nice salad with. Typically, I'm not somebody that eats salad, but for some reason, I feel like a salad is what I want. Like, I feel like just a nice big salad is gonna make me feel good. Like that stupid little meme that has that meditation guy, and he's like, eats one leaf of lettuce, and then it's just like zen, like so fresh, so great, like I don't know, whatever the fuck that meme is, like that's so funny, but like it's literally how I feel sometimes. So for some reason, like I said, I don't typically eat salads, but this week I just really want to. I feel like it's gonna make me feel good. So I bought all the stuff for that. One of my favorite ways to make a salad literally is just like a bed of greens that I enjoy. Like I said, not the fucking kale. It's typically like romaine and spinach and arugula mixed together. So that's the base that I've got. I've got tomatoes for that. I've got cucumbers, red onions, and I like to put avocado on that with chicken breast. And I put some red wine vinegar and balsamic vinegar. Literally, that's it. And if I want to get extra spicy, I'll put some mustard on there. Like, I don't use salad dressing half the time, just because I don't feel like it's necessary. If I put balsamic vinegar on it, the red wine vinegar, it makes it moist enough for me, and it's what I like. So if I like it, I don't give a shit what anybody else says. And I give you that same advice. If you like something, fucking eat it. That's just kind of like, I guess, my take on that. So I bought stuff for salads. And then for my dinner, it's pretty basic. I'll have one of those protein options and asparagus, zucchini. Those are like my top. I love zucchini and asparagus for dinner. So I made sure that I had plenty of that. And my fruits. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking excited about my fruits because I do have more carbohydrates available in my nutritious prescription for this week. And so that means that I don't have to fill it with cookies and donuts and pizza and all that stuff. Yeah, I could if I want to, but is it gonna be what makes me feel the best? Probably not. So I've kind of like tweaked my framework on this and thinking like, holy shit, like imagine how many bananas I can eat with this many carbs. So I went to the store and I got any fruits that looked good to me. So this is my usual of strawberries, raspberries, bananas. And then I also really wanted some peaches. And unfortunately, I couldn't find any good ones. So that's going to be something that I really want to get next week. And I'm going to figure out how I can incorporate that into my diet for next week. And I also got some apples. I stopped by my sister's house. She's got a apple tree out front. So I just went over and picked up some apples. It was great because those are free. So those are my fruits for the week. And I'm super excited about that. And raspberries. I don't remember if I said raspberries or not. But and a lot of times we have this misconception that carbohydrates are bad or that fruits are bad, sugar is bad, all these things. Like it's literally natural sugar, and all nutrients serve a purpose in the body. So that's something that I've eaten fruit all throughout prep, and I never stopped eating them. So fruit is not evil. Fruit does serve a purpose in your body. It has a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients, and carbohydrates are good for you in a certain sense, as long as you're not overdoing it. So those are some of the fruits that I bought for this week. And then lastly, I want to share some of the fun things that I got, or things that I'm going to be incorporating throughout my week that allow me to feel a little bit more of that flexibility. So number one being my peanut butter. My dad got me 4 jars of my favorite peanut butter, which I haven't had a jar of this in my house since March, which is like unbelievable for me because, like I said, this is my favorite peanut butter and I'm a peanut butter fanatic. But what had happened was, as I got deeper into prep, I couldn't trust myself enough to only have the specified serving that I said I was going to have, having a jar in the house. Like, even if I measured it out with my spoon, like, the spoon would go back in the jar multiple times when I said it was only going to go in there once. Like, you see what I'm saying? And if my goal was really important to me, I needed to stop doing that. So what I did instead, like I said, I haven't had this in the house since March, but what I did instead was during prep, I switched to these little individualized packets of almond butter so that I still had peanut butter in my day, but it was a 1 tablespoon serving at a time. So I would deliberately, if I was going to go over on my macros or over on the allotted portion size that I said I was going to have for my peanut butter, I would deliberately have to open another one. So the act of doing that would stop me more so than the jar. Like, the jar, there was no safety net. So why that's significant for this week, being my first week post-show, yes, I have this peanut butter, but if I find myself having a difficult time controlling myself with the jar of peanut butter, I sound like a fucking addict, I know. But like, if I seriously find myself having a hard time controlling myself with the jar of peanut butter, I need to put it away, and I will switch back to my packets. I made sure that I had extra packets available when I went to the store this week so that if that happens, I have a backup. So I will put it in the trunk of my car or something, literally just get it the fuck away from me if necessary. So next, I have honey packets as well. Same concept applies. These are individual serving packets, so it's super easy to go overboard if you're just squeezing your honey. But if you have it in an individual, and if you have it in an individual serving, then you can squeeze it out. You know your portion is appropriate every single time. So I got these honey packets. I really like to squeeze them on a rice cake with these little peanut butter packets too. That's super good with a little bit of salt. That's like one of my favorite treats. So I have those honey packets available, and I also got Greek yogurt. This is something I haven't had dairy again, probably since April. And for some reason, like the last couple of weeks of prep, I just wanted a yogurt so fucking bad. And I couldn't have it because dairy was something that didn't make the list for me. So I bought these yogurts, and I gotta say, I love this yogurt, but dairy is one of those things where it's an enzymatic reaction in your body. So when you consume dairy, if you don't have enough of the lactase enzyme, you cannot break the dairy down. So I'm somebody who has had issues with dairy for a pretty long time now, and so when you don't consume it, you don't have a lot of that lactase enzyme available anymore. So being that I haven't had it in months, I'll tell you, when I had this yogurt the other day, it did not go so well. My stomach really was kind of hurting me, and I was bloated, and things just, like I said, didn't go so well. So even though I do have this yogurt and I did buy it this week, not so certain that I'm going to be eating a lot of it. If I really, really feel like I want it and I feel like it's worth it to suffer with some bloating or whatever, then I might eat it. But like I said, I just don't really know if this has a place for me right now. So that's my thoughts on that. Next, I bought some M&Ms. Now, let me explain this because I got these M&Ms as a little treat for myself, and I made sure to get individual serving packs because a big-ass bag of M&Ms, you know, the kind that says sharing, well, ain't no sharing going on with that big-ass bag of M&Ms when you're coming off a prep. So what I did was I got this individual packet, and it'll just help me have a little bit more self-control, and I only bought a couple of them. And also, you can track these really easily. I'm pretty sure there's like 130 calories per package of these, and in regards to carbohydrates, it's nothing that's going to throw me overboard as long as I stick to my one packet, or, I mean, 2 packets. Not going to fucking kill me as long as I allot for it. So I'm actually excited about my M&Ms. And then another thing that I bought some canned pumpkin so that I can have a little fun, make some pumpkin spice milkshakes, my protein milkshakes. I'll make them into a pumpkin spice version, or maybe put some canned pumpkin into my oatmeal. That's something that I really love to do. I think it's super bomb, and I can share some recipes too as fall continues with you guys. And then probably lastly would be these little bars. I shop at Aldi's a lot because it's cheap. And you can still get a lot of really great options and a lot of healthy options too. So I found these were a new find for me. They were really enticing. So because I've been just like fiending for like some kind of like crunch. Like I said with that yogurt, for some reason in my head, I just really want a nice like yogurt parfait, like Greek yogurt with some berries and granola. But granola is something that, again, like the peanut butter, I can't really trust myself with right now to have a big bag of granola and to actually only eat what I said I was going to. So these luckily come in those individual packages. That's something that really I think is key for me, is having individual sized things available like that. So it really helps with portion control. But anyway, so I went out on a whim and I'm trying these. I had one the other day. It's like a chocolate salted caramel nut bar. But honestly, my little brief review on this, I'm not super thrilled with them. Yes, they were good, but the macros in regards to what you actually get, like this thing, do you see how small this is? Like when they said mini, they weren't fucking kidding. So I was pretty sad about that because there's like 8 grams of fat in this little tiny thing when I could have 8 grams of fat for a tablespoon of peanut butter. Like I'd much rather fucking do that. So anyways, that's my little review on that. And these will probably be sitting in my cupboard for a long time because like I said, the macros aren't that great compared to the size that I thought I was getting. So that's some of the things that I bought this week, along with some, I don't know why, but like I said, like certain things I've just been like fiending for. And so like one of those is protein shakes and protein bars. I don't know why, but I literally just like, I get in these ruts sometimes where all I want to eat is protein shakes and protein bars. Like it sounds fucking stupid, but that's how I get sometimes. So I have plenty of protein powder available. I've got my Shakeology. I've got my Vegam protein powder, which is Vegamn. It's a banana peanut butter protein powder. I freaking love it. It's like one of my favorites. So I've got that one available too. And then one of my other favorites, which is the Beachbody Recover chocolate flavor. Those are some of my favorite protein powders, and I'm pretty set on that. So in regards to feeding my addiction or my desire for protein shakes and protein bars, I've got all the powders pretty much taken care of. And then I bought 2 of my favorite protein bars. This one actually is a new one that I'm trying. So when I said favorite, I meant that the cookie dough flavor is typically my favorite, but now this one is my favorite. It's peanut butter brownie smash, and it's really freaking good. And then these Nugo Slim bars, I actually really like these too. And they're probably gonna come in super handy for me because my schedule is changing as a nurse in the operating room. I am off orientation literally next week. So I'm gonna be needing to still hit my macros, but having less time available to do it, which really creates a problem because then I'm trying to cram all my nutrients into a small span of time. So that's something that these bars are really great for because they're like 20 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, and 8 grams of fat, which packs a pretty heavy punch if you don't have a lot of other meal times available. So those are some of the bars that I got. I really like those. And then I'm also going to be buying Built bars. One of my friends at work actually introduced me to these Built bars, they are so freaking good. They taste like a candy bar. Again, like these taste like candy bars and they're so fucking good. So those are some of the bars that I've bought and will be eating throughout this week. And I think that pretty much covers everything else. I bought cauliflower rice, my brown rice, oatmeal, those things. And so, like I said, this week I'm probably going to be having salads most of the day, most of my week during the work week, just because that's what I want. Not typically somebody that eats salads, like I said. However, it's something that in my mind I feel like really fresh about eating a salad, which kind of sounds stupid, but I feel like I haven't had a lot of vegetables like that in a little while. So that's my plan for my lunches. And then for my breakfast, I'm planning on having my typical eggs, egg whites, and oatmeal with some fruit. When I got deeper into prep, it was either just just a little bit of oatmeal without the fruit typically, or just fruit. But now I've got more carbs available, so I might as well have both. But that's really something that like I said, I'm focusing on this week, is choosing healthy foods that make me feel good while I'm still meeting my macros, while I'm still hitting my requirements for my proteins, my carbs, and my fats. And doing it in a healthy way, because coming off of prep and everything that happens in regards to competing, it can be really easy to slip into binges, slip into these cycles of binge eating and restriction and beating yourself up, and that's something that I really just don't want for myself. My first week post-show, after my first show, that's how things were getting for me, and I felt like absolute garbage. So I feel like that was a really good experience for me to have, because it reminds me that I don't want to feel like that again. It kind of like scared me enough to the point where that's not something that I want to engage in again. I understand that I have to gain weight. However, I want to do it in a healthy way. So by having all of these foods available to me, I'm really hoping to basically be arming myself with a defense mechanism that, you know, if I want to eat more food, I'm going to be eating more healthy food. And that's really a big part of it, is, you know, like even though, yes, if you eat too much of healthy foods, like it can still cause adverse effects in regards to excessive weight gain. But knowing that if I want to give into a binge sort behavior and it's not available, hopefully that's going to be something that really puts a roadblock in my way. So that's just what I wanted to share with you guys in regards to what I bought this week and why. And I hope maybe this gives you a little bit of an idea of maybe some things that you can buy for yourself. Hopefully maybe some of those product reviews will be helpful for you, and especially in regards to the portion control aspect. Prior to even engaging in this sport, portion control was something that really changed my mindset in regards to food and helped me gain a lot of food freedom for when I'd be out and about in the world, going out to restaurants with friends and things like that. If I knew the portions that I was supposed to be eating, I had a better chance of creating a better framework of a healthy meal no matter where I was, whether I was creating the meal in my own kitchen or not. So some things that are for me super helpful is that portion control. So like I said, with these individualized packages of honey, the individualized peanut butter, these fun size packages of M&Ms, because it takes a lot more effort from you to deliberately open a second or a third or a fourth package of these products that are typically calorically dense. It takes more effort from you to open another one than if you were to just keep reaching your hand into the bag. Same thing goes with cereal. I love Lucky Charms lately, and Lucky Charms aren't bad for you. Lucky Charms, just like any other food, can serve a specific purpose in regards to their carbohydrate content that they've got, right? However, the more you can stop yourself from pouring the huge ass bowl, right? Helping yourself with portion control, they sell individualized packages of cereal. So, if you're somebody that finds yourself binging on cereal, try to find those individualized packages of cereal. This is something that I'm probably going to be doing maybe next week if I decide that I want some cereal. I will only allow myself to buy the cereal if I can find that individualized package of cereal. And I wanted to share that specifically about cereal because last time that I was coming off post-show, I really had a problem with cereal. And I shared this, and I found that there were so many other competitors that were literally victimized by cereal. So I really just wanted to share that, because if you have a problem with something, no matter what it is, search for an individualized portion of it. I'm so serious, you guys. Like, whether it's the cereal or not. Like I said, for me, it was the peanut butter. These saved my freaking life in prep because it stopped me from overdoing it accidentally or intentionally. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I stick that spoon in the jar again, I know damn well what I'm doing. Okay, so in that same sense, it helped prevent that. So if there are certain foods that maybe you feel like you can't control yourself with, I highly recommend at least switching to maybe something that's going to be more of like that portion control aspect of things, because sometimes cutting it out completely makes it worse. That's exactly why I switched to the individualized portion of peanut butter, because I know for myself, if I say no more peanut butter and I just exile peanut butter from my life, I will go off the deep end. I will start fiending for it, and the second I get my hands on it, I'm gonna eat the whole jar. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully some of this stuff was helpful to you. And like I said, this was extremely helpful for me in sharing what I bought this week, because at the store, I literally thought in my head when I was going to buy several options that were not so great for me, that I knew I shouldn't be buying. I literally thought in my head that I was going to be sharing this. And that in itself, knowing that I was going to tell other people about it, that's the power of accountability. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. It was certainly helpful for me. I will be doing this again next week. And yeah, I will be sharing the grocery list that I had as well in my stories. So if you guys want to check that out later, I probably won't be posting this to IGTV. So if you tuned in, cool. But stay tuned for that grocery list if it's something that's interesting to you. So hope this was helpful. It was helpful for me. So I'll see y'all again next week. XOXO.